Hello and welcome to Amit's Tech Sessions. My name is Amit and I'm a software architect. In this video, I'm going to talk about the fundamentals of cloud computing. So, this video is for the people who are beginners on cloud computing. If you're not a beginner on cloud computing, this is not for you. I'll have a lot more videos coming up for you. So, let's understand what is cloud computing. Before even going into cloud computing, let's understand what was the computing and deployment model before cloud computing came into the world. Right? When I started my career as a software developer long back, we used to deploy our Java application onto the physical servers. We used to package our Java applications in the form of an EAR or enterprise archive file. Then we used to log on onto the physical servers, and then we used to unpackage that EAR file on that server. So this is what is shown in this traditional deployment model one up on the screen. Right? You have a software application and then you are deploying it on the physical servers. Then things got a bit evolved and virtual machines came into the picture. So we started deploying our Java application onto the virtual machines. The advantage of virtual machine is that you can run multiple virtual machine on a single physical machine. Virtual machines are flexible, easily scalable, and also offer the cost savings as compared to the physical machines. And this is what is shown in traditional deployment model 2 up on the screen. You have a software application and then you are deploying it uh, on a bunch of virtual machines inside the data center. Right? So these traditional deployment models were great, were doing the right job for the organizations. However, these organizations were spending a huge amount of efforts and money on purchasing and maintaining these data centers within their premises. So a different computing or deployment model was the need of the hour, and that's where the cloud computing was introduced. So, what is cloud computing? In simple terms, cloud computing allows the organizations to run their data center in the cloud. Cloud computing, it's an on-demand delivery of IT resources such as servers, virtual machines, databases, networking, storage, etc. over the internet with a pay-as-you-go pricing model. Cloud computing allows the organizations to focus more on their business as it takes away all the efforts of undifferentiated heavy lifting of maintaining the data centers. So, what are the key advantages of cloud computing? There are many advantages of cloud computing, but these are the top five which stands out. The first one is agility. So, with traditional data centers, when organizations have to buy a new hardware, they have to place the order and then wait for that order to arrive. Right? Once the order is arrived, then they need to set up the hardware in their premises. So this process is something which can take weeks of time. Right? So with cloud computing, organizations can provision the servers in a matter of minutes, which saves a lot of time. And due to this, organizations become faster in their software delivery process. The second advantage is elasticity. So, with traditional data centers, organizations need to provision the hardware to handle the traffic for the peak time. But with cloud computing, there comes elasticity. Right? So with cloud computing, organizations can add or remove the servers in a matter of minutes based on the traffic or load on the applications. Third advantage of cloud computing is a global footprint. So with cloud computing, you can easily deploy your application in multiple regions around the world with just a few clicks. So this means that you can provide lower latency and a better experience for customers at minimal cost. The fourth advantage is cost savings. So with data centers, you spend a lot on data centers, which is capital expenditure. However, with cloud computing, you can pay only when you consume the computing resources and pay only for how much you consume. The fifth advantage is innovation. So with cloud computing, you don't have to spend time and efforts of buying and maintaining the data centers, servers, etc. as I said earlier. So you can focus more on innovation and can avoid the undifferentiated heavy lifting around those data centers. So what are the different models in cloud computing? So there are three different models in cloud computing. The first one is infrastructure as service. Second one is platform as service. Third one is software as a service. So let's understand them one by one. So infrastructure as a service, it contains the basic building blocks for cloud IT and typically provide the access to networking features, computers, and data storage space. So infrastructure as a service, it provides organizations with the highest level of flexibility and management control over the IT resources and is most similar to existing IT resources that many IT departments and developers are familiar with today. Platform as a service, it removes the need for organizations to manage the underlying infrastructure and allow the companies or organizations to focus on the deployment and management of their applications. So this helps organizations become more efficient as they don't need to worry about the resource procurement, capacity planning, software maintenance, patching, or any of the other undifferentiated heavy lifting involved in running those applications. Software as a service, it provides organizations with the complete product that is run and managed by the service provider. In most cases, people referring to software as a service are referring to end user applications. With a software as a service or SaaS offering, you do not have to think about how the service is maintained or how the underlying infrastructure is managed. You only need to think about how you will use that particular piece of software. So when we talk about cloud computing, we talk about Amazon Web Services or AWS, right? So what is Amazon Web Services or AWS? So AWS is world's most comprehensive and broadly adopted cloud, which offers over 200 fully featured services from their data centers globally. So millions of customers, including the fastest growing startups, largest enterprises, and leading government agencies, are using AWS to lower costs, to become more agile, and also to innovate faster. AWS has significantly more services and more features within those services than any other cloud provider. And AWS offers different services from infrastructure technologies like compute, storage, and databases to emerging technologies such as machine learning and artificial intelligence, data lakes and analytics, and IoT. So this makes it faster, easier, and more cost effective to move your existing applications to the cloud and build nearly anything you can imagine. So AWS also has the deepest functionality within those services. For example, AWS offers the widest variety of databases that are purpose built for different types of applications. So you can choose the right tool for the job to get the best cost and performance. AWS has the most extensive global cloud infrastructure. The AWS region and availability zone model, it has been recognized by Gartner as the recommended approach for running enterprise applications that require high availability. But what can you as a software engineer do in AWS? So AWS provide various different compute services. As a software engineer, you need a compute platform to host your software or application. Right? So you can choose compute platform from AWS such as EC2, ECS, EKS, or others. AWS provides various different storage services. So when you build your application, you might need a storage solution to store the files, store the objects, or store the videos. Right? So you can choose your storage service from AWS, such as Simple Storage Service or S3. AWS provides various different database services. Most likely, every software application needs a database where applications can store their transactional data. So you can choose database services from AWS, such as RDS, Aurora, DynamoDB, or others. AWS provides various different services for artificial intelligence and machine learning. So as a data engineer or machine learning engineer, you can have services from AWS, which allows you to create and deploy your machine learning models. There are services available such as SageMaker, Rekognition, Forecast, etc., which are focused on AI and ML. AWS also provides services to set up data and analytics for your company. As a data engineer, you can build data lakes on S3 and then use AWS services to query the data into data lake and build business intelligence dashboards on that data lake. So that's all I have for this video. I hope this was useful. Thank you very much. If you would like to connect with me on LinkedIn or Medium, there are QR codes up on the screen. You can scan those QR codes and connect with me on LinkedIn or Medium.